Summer, as well as the site director for the Unite program here at North Carolina A&T State University. What I wanted to do, kind of starting out, is talk about what Unite is, especially for those of you that are new. So we'll kind of look at what Unite is, what its purpose, talk about the expectations, and address the issue with the W-9 form. So I'll kind of talk about those particular elements with this. So what I want to do is I'll share out another screen that I have. And this is pretty much an infographic that you can find in the Google Classroom. And so pretty much what this program is about is basically encouraging and motivating students who are underrepresented and marginalized in STEM disciplines, trying to encourage you all to consider a STEM career as you are matriculating through high school and going into college or any kind of post-secondary, but kind of want to take students who may be interested in STEM and continue to nurture and encourage that as you go through. And so typically what we have been doing in the past years is working with the TRIO program, and specifically at A&T, the Educational Talent Search program. And in order to be eligible for the, let me clear that. You pretty much meet one of these, two of these criteria, low income or on free and reduced lunch. You may have a documented disability. If you're a female, interested in STEM, racial or ethnic minority, English as a second language, first generation, meaning that none of your parents have secured or have a college degree or completed college, military dependence of military veterans, and if you attend a school that is rural frontier or targeted outreach high school. So those, again, those of you that are here meet at least two of these criteria to participate in the Unite program. And myself, I fall into myself at that point here, dependent military veteran and racial and ethnic minority and first generation. So I met 4 of these criteria myself at the same point you are now. So it's a great program. I have several students on here that I'm glad to see again. That means that hopefully something was done that motivated you to want to return this summer. So I do appreciate it. I have some students on here who have been here a couple of years. So glad you all were able to participate again. And so pretty much everything will kind of run Monday through Thursday. We'll talk about some other elements of this some things are going to be happening on Fridays, but Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10:30. And I'll talk about too how this is kind of going to be divided up into Monday, Wednesday, and a Tuesday, Thursday group, because I have like over 20 people that have registered. And so in order to kind of get through this and give you all the attention that you need, I'm probably going to need to divide, kind of split the group up into 2. And so we'll talk more about that as we go along. So pretty much what you're going to be doing with this, if you kind of look on the screen, we're going to explore some hands-on activities, and primarily we're going to be using Fusion 360, which is a solid modeling and design application in order to kind of do the hands-on activities. You will have some guest speakers, and we will have 3 guest speakers this time. We'll have 1 guest speaker from the Department of Defense. We'll have another that is going to be from A&T in admissions, talking about like admissions criteria, things in order to get into college, some things you might need to be aware of and know. And another person who currently works at Xavier University in Louisiana. He is a former NASA, used to work for NASA. And so he's going to be talking with you as well. The other things that you will do and participate in will be kind of doing research in various STEM careers. So you're basically going to choose, like 2 or 3 careers you might be interested in, and kind of do some research on those and submit that information in. The conversations that you will have with Department of Defense professionals, that will also kind of be tied into the STEM careers, because the idea is for them to talk about how they decided on going into a STEM career, what motivated them academically, what did they do from high school to college and then within their career itself, what kind of expectations they they experienced, and some of the things they experienced as working in a STEM field. So that kind of ties in the reason why we have those conversations with Department of Defense and other guest speakers, is to kind of give you some background in those areas. So we talked about the requirements for participating, and we're going to be using Google Classroom and Zoom in order to kind of interact. Is there anybody on here currently that has not been able to get into Google Classroom? If you are able to get into Google Classroom, give me a 1 in the text chat. If you have not been able to get into Google Classroom, give me a 0. That's one of the things I would definitely need to know. So this will be, so it looks like and I need everybody to let me know if you are or are not able to get into Google Classroom. So either give me a 1 if you are able to get in, give me a 0 if not. So this I'm kind of giving you an idea of how I'm going to kind of monitor people's participation. So what I don't want you to do is, simply log in and go back to bed. That's kind of what I don't want to happen. So this is going to, one way I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to have you to, be engaged. And if not, then this is kind of telling me that you're not actively participating, which we'll kind of get into the participation agreement as well. So that's going to kind of drive a lot of things. So again, I need you to let me know again whether you are not able to get into the Google Classroom. That's going to be important, because we're going to use that as a major way for you to get access to materials. This is the way that you're going to submit the work that you do, the activities that you complete. That's the way you're going to submit. That's how I'm going to know that you did actually do the work. And so again, this time is going to kind of follow the same. Again, we're going to be using Fusion 360. And so that's going to get into pretty much doing things from a mechanical standpoint. So it kind of will continue what we did in the program last summer. It's going to continue in that theme. Usually I'll have either mechanical or architectural, but because of some things I had to change, I had to go back to the mechanical side of it for this year. So we'll talk more about what that's going to entail. Okay. Anybody have any questions for me so far? Again, I don't want this to be where I'm doing all of the talking. Anybody have any questions so far? Let me stop sharing this.
Nope, I'm good.
Very good. Thank you, Hassan. Hassan is one of my veteran students. So I'll stop sharing that. All right. So let me go back to the agenda here. Okay, so we kind of talked about the purpose of this. We'll get into next the expectations, which is going to be the participation agreement. And so I'm going to now just share this out in Google Classroom, because you'll be able to find all of this information in Google Classroom. I'll just share the screen and okay. Are you all able to see my Google Classroom? Are you able to see the
Yes.
do that? Thank you. All right. So in the Google Classroom, you have the participation agreement, which that this is going to be an activity. I think I put it in as an activity, or if not, I will. That you will need to look over. Again, this is basically kind of outlining the expectations. If you did not know, those of you that are veterans know this, but those of you that are new, is that there is a $500 incentive for actively participating and completing this program. So in order to get this $500, there are two things you're going to have to do. One is you're going to have to kind of do everything that is on this agreement. Okay, being on time for the sessions. So let me make sure I have my thing there. Okay, so being on time and remaining here from the beginning to the end of each session, actively participating in the virtual sessions. There will be like 2 career exploration activities. You'll need to make sure you complete those. So those are going to be like the AEOP Unite activities. Actively participating with the guest speakers. We'll talk more about that when we get closer to the time of having a guest speaker. Submitting at least 85% of the work or the activities and assignments, and attending at least 85% of the classroom sessions. So I know that during the summertime, you know, people have different things going on. I get it. So that's kind of why it's not at 100%. So I know that you all have, you know, things that may grab your attention as the summer's going on. So again, that's why the attendance is going to be important. That's why having your name in the Zoom session is going to be important, so I can make sure I document what it is that you're here. Those of you that are in the Educational Talent Search program, this will apply to you as far as the virtual college tours, things of that nature that Miss Yandel and Miss Sanchez may have for you. So this won't apply to everybody this year, but it will apply to the Educational Talent Search participants. Completing and returning all forms that are pertaining to AEOP and Unite. Okay, so they're going to be like some surveys, some different information that I'm going to need to collect from you that I need to send back to them. So that's going to be important. We'll talk more about this very soon, the Lumens program, so you'll kind of understand what that is. So that's another element of this. And I don't think this is going to apply to anybody, but if you acquired any equipment or materials or things from either me or anybody from the Educational Talent Search program, that those things will be returned as you receive them. And that may or may not apply to anybody here, but this is pretty much the participation agreement. So what you will need to do, and make sure you do before, I'll say before Friday, definitely before Friday, but if you get it done beforehand, it would be definitely accepted, is that you need to print this, or if you do it on electronically, you can initial it in these areas. So everywhere right here, you will initial. Okay. And then you will, you and your parents will need to sign this document and return it. Okay, so you can either, so you have the signatures down here. You can either print it, do it electronically, sign it that way and email it back to me, or you can print it out, initial it, take a picture of it, and send that picture back to me. Either way, but I need to make sure that I have this on file for you. That's one of the things that you will need to do in order to get this here. So I want to be able to give this money to you. All right. I don't want to hoard it. I don't want to have to send it back. But I'll need to make sure you have that participation agreement, and that this is how you will be pretty much guaranteeing that you will get your incentive. All right. Any questions about the participation agreement?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you. Thank you for the verbal responses. So you can get this from in the Google Classroom under where it says Unite Materials. There's the participation agreement. I may even make it an activity where you can submit it back this way. That's where I've done it before. So either way, but that's what I'll do. I'll put it in here as an activity, that way you can submit it back here instead of emailing and all that stuff. That'll kind of cut out all of that. So I'll make it an activity that you can complete there. All right. So let me say this. I do understand that there are some people that may be on here and you may have some extenuating circumstances where, for example, you may not be able to attend like the 85% of the virtual sessions, or you may, I'm just kind of giving up some examples. You may be working on the day that the guest speaker is available to us. Okay, those are like extenuating circumstances. And some of you have already kind of emailed me and told me about, some circumstances you may have. If that be the case, what I will need you to do today, tomorrow, if you have some extenuating circumstances, if you are going to be participating like in a camp or something on a particular week, okay, those things are fine. I get it. As long as, and so what we'll need to do is talk about a way for you to make sure you complete those activities for that particular day or that particular week. However, we need to address it. But I will need to know what those circumstances are so I can make sure I accommodate you, because I don't want you to miss out on other opportunities. But I also need to make sure that you are engaged with the Unite program, if that makes sense. Okay. So just if you do have any kind of circumstances, you were taking classes, working, internship, any of those types of things, just let me know and we can work around that. Okay. So as I'm going through this, if there are any questions, you can just interrupt me. You can raise your hand, I'll address you, or you can just unmute and ask the question that you need to ask. All right. The other important thing that will need to happen is if you look in the, I did make this one an activity, but I'll just share it from here. So you do have an activity where you need to complete this W-9 form, okay? So I'll open it up from here just so we can kind of see it. So what I did in the Unite materials is you have a copy of the W-9 form, a blank copy, which is this one. And here is a sample. So I'll go and open up the sample and I'll talk about it from the sample. So what you see in red is the information that you need to provide on the W-9. All right, first name and last name. Checking. I'll see if I can. Yeah, okay. Checking the box in here that is individual or sole proprietor. That's the box that you will check. You will give your address. Make sure that this address is correct. The address, city, state, zip code. Make sure that information is correct, and your social security number will go here. You will sign it and make sure you date it. This form, again, it is an activity that is in the Google Classroom. So you will need to make sure you submit that form back to the Google Classroom. Again, you can print this out. If you do it electronically, you can do it that way, save it as a PDF or a Word document, however, and submit it through the Google Classroom that way. The other thing you can do is if you print it out, sign it, do all of this, take a picture, you can upload the image. But I will need to have this before. This is the only way that you can get the $500. This is the only way. If I don't have this, I can't, there's nothing I can do. And please make sure that everything is correct and that you sign it and date it. Okay, this is the only page I need. I don't need all this other stuff, but if you send it, it's fine, but I don't need it. I do need this page looking just like it does here with your information. Okay, so in the Google Classroom under the materials, you have the blank copy and you have a sample of how it needs to look when you finish it. All right, in the Unite AOP Unite program activities, it is an activity. So if I click on this, I already have one person that's done it, and I got them both there as well. Okay, so one person's already turned theirs in. Okay, so again, I need this as soon as possible. I would like to have this according to the due date by Wednesday. I'm sorry, Friday. This is Friday. Okay, so that makes sure that I can go ahead and send it in to the university, and we don't have the problem that we had last year. And those of you that were with me last year know what I'm talking about. Okay, so as soon as possible. Again, it could be either electronically as a PDF, or you can take a picture of it and send that. Either way, if I have any issues with it, I'll let you know. All right. Any questions about the W-9 form? No. Okay. So the participation agreement, and making sure that you do all the things on the participation agreement and completing the W-9 form. Those things will make sure that you get your $500, which I hope is not the only reason that you're here, but I know it is I know it's a reason. I get that. And it's okay. All right. Okay. So let me go back to the agenda. Okay. So the thing that is different about this year that compared to previous years is there is a program that you are automatically a part of called Lumens. And so let me kind of get into that a little bit. And if you look in the Google Classroom, there's a section for Lumens documents, and I'll click on the one for the flyer. So basically what the university has done is they have funded a program that we call Lumens, which is Elevating Underrepresented Minorities Experiences in STEM, and that's ag included in that. Okay, so how many of you all knew that agriculture is a STEM discipline? Give me a yes or no in the chat. How many of you all know that agriculture was a STEM discipline? Okay, some yeses, some nos. Very good. So, and we'll talk more about this as far as the calendar is concerned. So a colleague of mine, Dr. Faulkner, who is a colleague of mine at A&T, she is in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. We submitted a proposal to the university to pretty much fund what you are doing here. So it's not going to be like you're doing something separate. It's really all entangled in this. And really the proposal was written with Unite in mind. So the things that Unite already does, we incorporated into Lumens. So a lot of the criteria that you see here is the same as it is for Unite. There's really nothing different about it. The one thing that you will get an experience with is from the agricultural side, digital agriculture and drone technology. So there will be, we'll talk about this in the calendar. There will be like a 3 days, July 8th through the 10th, where you will learn about drone technology. Okay, so that will be the added element to what you all would already be doing in Unite anyway. But agriculture is a STEM discipline. It is. And so with this, again, here's my Dr. Faulkner's information. There's my information. I'm the co-program director for this. And so again, one of the elements that you're going to learn about that is tied into Unite will be the use of drone technology. The other thing that will happen is, unlike last year or in previous years, when we talk about a particular topic, like for example, using the when we get into rendering, for example, which is going to be very soon, you're going to have, in this case, this is going to be like the research component for us, as far as has there been any learning gains in what you are experiencing? So are you learning anything? So you'll have pre-test and post-test. There'll be short quizzes, 5 questions, something of that nature. Basically, the pre-test is, what do you already know about this topic? So if we're talking about animation, what do you already know? And then after you go through animating the product that you're going to be working with in Fusion 360, what do you know after that? So that's pretty much the added element of what Lumens is bringing to this. It is basically, a research study in these particular areas. So with drone technology, you're going to be given a short pre-test, again, 3 to 5 questions, something like that. Then after you have that experience with the instructor for the drone technology, what did you learn? Okay, so we're basically trying to see what impact this program is having on your what you're learning and your motivation to go into STEM. That is the added element to this. Okay, so what I will need you all to do, just like you did the application for Unite. There is, if I can get back to it. Yeah, there is an application for the Lumens. So if you will end up clicking on this, and there's going to be a link that I thought I made available, but if I didn't, I will put it up there. There's going to be a link to this that I will need you to make sure that you complete. Okay, so it's an application similar to the one for Unite. It's going to ask some very similar questions that you or your parents did for Unite, and just do the same thing for this as well, because we need to document that you are actually participating in the program. What your parents will end up getting is, and you'll get it as well, just so you won't be in the dark, is what's called a consent form. Since we are doing research and we're going to kind of analyze the data that we get from this, you and your parents are going to have to sign a consent form, understanding what it is that you're participating in, and just to make sure that you agree with it. So that's going to be coming, or I'll make it available in the Google Classroom for you as well. So for the Lumens, it's going to be the application, just completing that, and doing the consent form to participate in the research. So those things will be coming this week. Okay, so that's just so you know kind of what the Lumens part of this is. Again, it's just a research element, and it's adding some topics in agriculture, and specifically it's adding drone technology. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. Any questions about Lumens? Everybody good? Okay, so hopefully this will be something that will be added, that'll give you some other incentive to consider, agriculture as a potential career choice. And that's really what it's about. All right, so let me go back. We kind of talked about those elements there. Okay, so let's get into the calendar. So in Google Classroom, you can see the calendar here. And I'll kind of make sure I match up the calendar with the things that are in the Google Classroom. Okay, so this is pretty much everything that we're going to be addressing throughout the summer. We will only have sessions, live sessions on Zoom Monday through Thursday. Okay, the elements that are for Friday are things that you will need to make sure you do by that time, but we won't have any Zoom sessions on Friday. I want to make sure I clear this up, because I don't want it to say, oh, we got things Monday through Friday. No, this is just kind of set up where there's some things that you can do online through the Google Classroom that you won't. We're not going to have any face-to-face, not any Zoom sessions on Fridays. All right, so for example, if you look at on this Friday here where it says Unite AEOP activity, AEOP opportunities for students, if we go back to the Google Classroom and we look in the area AEOP Unite program activities, there's one in there that says AEOP opportunities for students. And here are the instructions for that. Okay, so the way I'm hoping that I have the calendar set up is that it gives you information that you need to know in order to find it in the Google Classroom. But as we go through like this first week, I'll kind of make sure I direct you. But so this particular activity is due on the 14th. That's when it's due. You can do it before then, okay, by all means. But that's when it's going to be due, and that's how it shows up in the calendar. All right. Okay, here if we look at June 10, which is where we are now, introducing the program. You have something about AEOP. If we look in the Google Classroom, you have an activity there about AEOP. If you click on that, there's some people who've already turned it in. Excellent. Okay, here are the instructions for that. So if I go to view instructions, it tells you exactly what you need to do. Okay. So I probably need to move it in the calendar because it says due June 12th. So I'll be fair. It's there. No, it's there. There it is. All right. There it is right there. Okay. So I'm trying to make the link between what you see on the calendar and how it links up with where you can find it in the Google Classroom. Okay. On tomorrow, we will get into like the design software, like the graphic user interface. Again, you can do this beforehand. Okay, you don't have to wait on me. So if we look in the Google Classroom, if I back out of this, yeah. Design software access. Okay, some of you have already done like the Access and Fusion 360, which we will talk more about this. I want to make sure that everybody's on there. Here's the graphic user interface assignment that is there. And again, 5 people have done this. Okay. You can access the software. It gives you the instructions, so forth and so on. All right. So some of this I want to make sure we get into today, because this is going to be an important part as far as making sure that you can get access to the Fusion 360. All right. The hands-on activities, when we get into the rendering, all right, that is a topic that is going to be in the Google Classroom. So if I go to, here it is, rendering mechanical, and it gives you all of the different elements of what you're going to be doing. Okay. So anything dealing with the use of Fusion 360, that's going to be divided up into whatever the topic is, whether it's rendering, animating, the technical drawings. You have a poster that you're going to end up completing for this. So any of the topics that are associated with the hands-on, the STEM hands-on, that's labeled as STEM and hands-on here, they're going to be topics in the Google Classroom. So I want to make sure that that's clear. Okay. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. If you look on this, there are some places where we will have some on-campus visits. Okay. So obviously, for those of you that are in South Carolina, Florida, where am I different? South Carolina, Florida, Maryland, Virginia, I'm not going to make you come to campus and do this. This is for the students who are in Greensboro, and those of you that are in the Educational Talent Search program, you're probably going to get some communication from Ms. Yandel and Ms. Sanchez about the on-campus visits. Okay. So for this, we're going to get into, we're going to have an on-campus visit on Friday, where you're going to come in, you're going to do like 3D printing, plotting drawings, using the plotters, things of that nature. We'll get into some image editing or video editing. You'll be able to get into those things. Those of you that are not close to Greensboro, you will still be able to do there's a way we can do the 3D printing remotely, so you won't be excluded out of that. You will be able to save your activities as PDFs so your drawings can be plotted and they will be mailed to you. Okay. So we got ways that you can still do this and not physically come to the campus. So you won't miss out on that experience. It just, you won't be in the lab doing it. That's kind of the only difference. Okay. So I don't want you to feel like you're going to be excluded from that. You just won't be in the lab to be able to do it. All right. So again, but those of you that are in Greensboro, this is something that we are strongly encouraging, and it won't necessarily just be this. It'll be like for part of the day, you'll be doing this. There's some things that Educational Talent Search is going to have you to do as well during that time that you're on campus. So it won't just be this. And then like you come for an hour and a half and then go home. That wouldn't be a good use of your time. So in an email I sent out, you all probably got the email. You all probably got the email I sent out last night. Will the on-campus visit be at the same time as our online meeting? Excellent question. Celine, excellent question, and Crystal as well. So I'll answer Crystal's question first. What time will be there on Friday? 9 o'clock. So it'll be at the same, yes, it will be at the same time. Again, we'll be there from those of you that, well, anybody who comes will be there from 9 to 1. Okay? Because we can do a lot of different things during that time. And yeah, so we'll be there from 9 to 1 on Friday. Okay? If you
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you well. 9 to what time?
From 9 to 1. I'll put it in the chat as well. For the one on Friday, I'll say Friday, June 14, we will be on campus from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I put it in the chat. Okay. If we scroll down in the calendar, you will see we have a guest speaker on the 20th of June, and that's going to be our Department of Defense guest speaker. So for this particular day, we're going to also have the on-campus visit that day. But everybody who is going to come on campus will come at 9 o'clock. That's when the guest speaker, so we'll all be in the lab and be able to engage with the guest speaker that way. Then after that guest speaker, we'll be in the lab still doing the campus, on-campus visit. Again, those of you that are in the Educational Talent Search, you will be here. Those of you that are not, from like 11 to 1, we will be doing the 3D printing and things of that nature. Those of you that are Educational Talent Search, after you finish with what they're doing, then I can work with you on the 3D printing, the plotting, all of those elements. Okay, so I'll kind of script out what the agenda is going to be for the on-campus visits for the Fridays and for the Thursday or Tuesday. Okay, but you can look at the calendar and see when it identifies when those on-campus visits are going to be. Okay, so the 28th, June 28th, will be another one. That'll be a Friday, and that'll be a 9 to 1 deal. And July 2nd will be the 4th one. So we'll be on, have a guest speaker from 9 until 10:30. Then we'll do the lab stuff on campus. Okay. The calendar can be found if you go to the Google Classroom. It should be under the AEOP Unite, I put it under activities. Actually shouldn't be under that. It should be under the materials. We don't know. It's under the AEOP Unite program activities. Yeah, that's where it should be. So there's the calendar. Okay. Everybody good so far? Any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, so again, pay very close attention to the calendar. That pretty much outlines everything that we're going to be doing or what you're going to be working on, things of that nature. Okay, so what I want to do at this point, I've been talking for about 50 minutes, and I know you're tired. I get it. So we'll kind of take a 7-minute break. We'll kind of come back at 10 o'clock. What I want to do at that point is I've talked about this. What I want to use the remaining time to do is kind of address any issues with access to Fusion 360. That's what I want to make sure that we get all of that taken care of. Yeah, so when we come back at 10 o'clock, I want to make sure I get into that. I want to find out who already can access Fusion 360 with no problems. Those of you that went the program last year, I'm hoping that is you, because we used the same software last year. I do want to spend some time with others of you that may have had some issues and kind of deal with that. So I want to kind of just stop for right now. I'm going to stop stop sharing this. Or was I sharing? Yeah. I'll stop sharing. Kind of walk through some things because we need to make sure you have access to the software. So I just need to kind of see where things are. If you click on that tab where it says Fusion, kind of where the arrow is pointing on your screen. Okay, that's Google Classroom. Okay, not that one. Okay. This one is okay. Let's go ahead and go down here where it says Launch Fusion. Okay, so this what you're seeing here is the browser version, which should work fine as long as you're able to get access to it. So this won't be downloaded to your computer. It'll be like the browser version. You can use a web browser to do it. Autodesk, do you have the Autodesk?
Oh,
Okay, so this is the browser
Yeah.
version of it, which is fine. Okay. So you have the browser version and that works.
mhm.
Very good. Okay. Okay. All right, so we can stop sharing yours. I know you have access to it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who else gave me a 1? Celine, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Well, I'll just, yeah. How do you flip the camera? never
I
mind.
don't know.
I'm working on my phone because I can't get Zoom on my desktop, but this is the interface.
Okay. Okay. So that's something very good point. I'm glad you brought this up. If you can get Zoom on that computer, that would be great because that would be a way that you could easily just share the screen to what you have, and we not have to do it this way. This makes it challenging for me to be able to see what you have up there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Tomorrow it'll be better.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's why we're doing it. It's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jordan, can you share your screen? Somebody sent a message saying something. I have it, but it's on a separate device, so I wouldn't be able to share it on my screen for you to see. Okay, so again, if you are able to, whatever device you have Fusion on, if you can have Zoom on that as well and be able to share that out, that would be great. Just in case you have any issues that need to share the screen, so I can see what you have on Fusion 360. Okay. We are a bit lost. That's okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
How long do the Monday to Thursday classes usually last?
They will all the sessions typically will be like 9 to 10:30, maybe going to 10:45, but I definitely will try to stay within the 9 to 10:30 range. That's the idea.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This may run a little long. If you have access to the Fusion 360, well, let me not cut it off yet. Just stay on until about, I was trying to stop at 10:30 if I can get through everybody to see it. Okay. If not, then we will check it out on tomorrow as well. Okay. Jordan Francis, I think you were here with us last time, so I think you may be okay.
Yes, I have access to Fusion 360.
Okay, very good. Yeah, this will, Miranda, this will be something that you won't be able to use on the phone. It won't be something that you can use on an iPad. Those two things, it's not going to work well with. So, yeah. You should have it tomorrow. Okay, very good. Very good. So everybody seems to have it working. So again, I'll share this out. So in order to better do this, if you are able to get access to Fusion 360, there's an assignment, design software access. That is a topic in Google Classroom. And if you look at these instructions for this, again, this document where it says access to Fusion 360 software, that's going to show you how to create the account and download it and all that stuff. What you should submit, if you are able to open it in the browser or on the desktop, this is what you should take a screenshot of and submit it. All right. If you can't see this, then you don't have the access to it that I'm hoping that you have. Okay. So this is what I will need. All of you that have access to Fusion 360 in that activity in Google Classroom, I need you to submit this graphic user interface. That way I know that you can open it up. Okay. I want to make sure everybody's clear with that. I don't have it working. Okay. Crystal, can you share your screen? I'll stop sharing mine. Yeah. So Crystal, can you share your screen? And if you have a Windows operating system on your computer, or it works on Mac as well.
Okay. All right.
Should be like a green button at the bottom.
Okay.
Where you can
Share.
share.
No, I can't find the tab. Okay, hold on.
Zoom recording. Okay. So again, for this first hands-on activity that you're going to do, it's going to be under the rendering for the mechanical. What I will need to do is provide you with some instructions on how to upload those files. So I'll provide you with that. But each of the activities that you do, there are going to be some demonstration videos, links to demonstration videos. So like, for example, here, if you click there, this will kind of walk you through how to create an exploded assembly. It will do those things. So you have the videos for that. And it has the videos on how to create a rendering. Okay, so we'll talk about this. I'm hoping that we can use part of tomorrow to get everybody going. And then what I will do is you'll get an email from me telling me whether you're in the Monday, Wednesday, or the Tuesday, Thursday group. But I do need everyone, back to the question that was asked earlier. I do need everyone to today submit this, the one for the access. So that will help me identify who can and who cannot access the software by uploading this. I need this done today. Then that'll help me plan for tomorrow. Okay, but I need this done today. So if you cannot see this on your user interface, you can't upload anything. Okay. Okay. And that will help me. All right. Questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
If you're in the Monday, Wednesday group, after you email us that information today, does that mean don't show up tomorrow, or this week we're all gonna join and then next week is when we'll start the Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday?
Excellent question. My hope is we can get these issues resolved with Fusion 360 by tomorrow, and everything will pick up on Wednesday. So for tomorrow, I do want everybody to log in because there's some other things I need to talk about. So thank you. Tomorrow, I need everybody to log in. After tomorrow, then we will go to the groups. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it did.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. So if you are not able to if you are able to get into Fusion 360 and you're able to see the user interface, you need to do that assignment so you can upload it, and you can go ahead and be dismissed. I thank you all so much for logging in, being in on time. Everything will kind of pick up from here. Those of you that are having trouble logging in or getting access to Fusion 360, I want you to kind of hang back for a minute just so we can try to resolve any issues. Okay. So for those of you that are going to leave, I'll see you all on tomorrow. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
This, because this is what go back to that other screen. This is what we were trying to get to. And how did you get to this? It was just there.
I typed in Autodesk Fusion 360 something. I don't remember what I typed in Google. And then it took me, and then I logged in. And then this is just the page it took me to.
This is where I was trying to get, I don't want to mispronounce the name, Barry, to this, because this is where you can, if you click on this option where it says Fusion and download there, that's going to give you access to a downloader to install the desktop version.
So I already clicked it. How do I? You want me to just click it?
I saw it do something. I don't know where it went though. If you go to like your oh, Joshua, I'm sorry, I thought it was Gerald, Joshua. Yeah, there it is, the downloader. Yeah, you did it a couple of times. So you did
So how do
download the connector too, right?
the desktop
Yeah,
connector?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Did you install that?
I clicked download a couple times.
Yeah, I see that. I'm wondering if you installed it, but so that might be how you got here. I don't know how you got there, but that's where I was trying to get Amaros to get to. But so that means you should have access to so you could install once you like go to your downloads, go back to your downloads. That folder.
I don't know how I got there. I don't know how I did that.
No,
make it public.
in your downloads folder now, it should be the that file so you can install the desktop version. How do you get to your downloads folder on your computer?